Good morning, students. Today we'll be learning about the APA format. Some of you are already well aware of what APA format is supposed to be. Some of you might not have that much of an idea. This is just the basics of APA format, so you will have to do a lot of reading up and watching videos by yourself. I will include certain references and links which might be helpful. So let's begin. So when APA was formed, and even before that, um, a lot of documents were published, but most of these documents it was very difficult to read a lot of these documents. One of the major reasons for that was all of these documents used a different presentation style. Some of them had tables at the end, some of them had tables in the middle, some of them had abbreviations with no definition, and it was rather difficult. Also, the font style and the size of font or the line differences were different in different documents. Hence, APA built the new wing, which was called APA Style, and they started regulating how a document should be. Every few years, they publish a new manual for these regulated rules or these regulations. It is called Publication Manual of APA, and I will attach this in the Google Classroom when I add this video over there. Now, why should you really use APA? APA style isn't a compulsory style really, it is a recommended style. And what that means is that you don't have to use it, but it's probably a good idea to use it. For one, it saves a lot of time. It has a lot of rules and regulations, hence you don't have to think a lot about what kind of information should go into making the document. Second is that if you know APA style well enough, no matter which document you read, or even whether you're reading 60 documents or 100 of them, which could be a possibility, you know where the information you seek is placed in the document. Thirdly, the information in the document, while typing out the document, you don't have to worry about the font size or even the line spacing. These all things are already predetermined. And this all solves the major problem, which was of communication. People from different countries, people who don't even speak the same language perhaps, will know where the information is placed in their documents. Now, let's talk about some basic guidelines. Now, if you're from your second year or third year, or perhaps master's or have just completed your master's, these are the 3 or 4 rules that are usually mentioned. The first one is to use a Times New Roman format. However, what APA really says, and if you look at the history of APA, is that you can use any of the clear serif formats. However, we at CMHS would be using Times New Roman format because it's clear and it has been the industry standard. The second is to use a 12 point or 12 font size. Now, in the recent times, people have also started using 14 point for headers and 12 point bold for subheadings. However, the general rule is that if you don't know what to do with your document, then go for a 12 point. The third is the spacing, which is that it should be double or two, depending on which word processor you use, whether you use Google Docs or whether you use Microsoft Word. And the fourth one is that the entire body of the text should be justified. If you're in your third year or in your master's, you would have heard this from your lectures a number of times, that the entire document needs to be in justified alignment. What they're really talking about is just the body of it. The rest of it, such as the title, the subheading, they can be of different alignments. For example, this title and the heading can be in the center, but subheadings or the title or the heading 2 should be aligned to the left. Now here's a wonderful example. Over here, there's the title page of the document. There's the first page that goes in. You can see the page number on the document, which is 1. Now, let's start from the very top. On the very top, you have running head, CMHS CR, John Doe 6B, XYZ School. If you notice that the running head, or the text after running head is a shortened version of the real title. The real title comes after that, which is a long version of the title. It should include everything that a person needs to know before reading the document. It should tell them exactly what the document is about. Remember, the word running head should only be used in the first page of a APA styled document. Followed that is the name of the document, the author of the document, which is Ramji Verma. And if a lot of you would have guessed it, it is Ram Gopal Verma, because I couldn't think of a better name. But one other thing is this name is not in an APA style format. So in your first page of your document, you can write names in non-APA format as well. The general convention of writing it is the first name followed by the first letter of your middle name, followed by a full stop, followed by the last name. After that, your credentials, after that, your supervisor's name and credentials, after that, your affiliations. Most of you are in a Teach for India school. Teach for India falls under Teach to Lead, which is the name of the organization. Hence, that is there. Above that is the name of your school. Now, I use Microsoft Word. I also use Google Docs. I would prefer if you use Microsoft Word and Google Docs as well. Now, if you're using Microsoft Word, you should ideally be using something above Microsoft Word 2007, or at least Microsoft Word 2007. If you're using anything below that, then the documentation over here might not be all that helpful. Google Docs is rather online, and I would say that Google Docs is much more preferable because you don't have to save the documents and you can share them much more easily. Now, let's talk about your first page again, how to actually write the first page. Now, first thing that you need to write is running head, R capital, H small, followed by colon, and followed by shortened version of your entire title. Then you can either add spaces or tabs and write the page number. You will find the option of your page number somewhere. It should ideally be in the design. So how you need to go about it is open a new document, double click on the top of the document in the white space, the top of the document, this space, double click over there. And after that, write running head colon the shortened version of your title, followed by, so this is the running head. And so you double click over here, type running head colon the shortened version of your title, space, 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 and then click on insert page number. Don't put it manually. It is a lot of task to put the page number manually. Now, after you're done with all of this, what you need to do is you can go in the design and type and select this different first page. Now, in a lot of WordPressers, which are Microsoft Word 2016, but the earlier versions of it, what really happens is the way that you need to follow is your step 1, double click, step 2, go to design, which is should be around this area, these tabs. There should be an option called design. Click on different first page. Step 3, write running head. Step 4, write a shortened version of your title. Step 5, add the spaces. Step 6, go to design again, and over here somewhere around here there should be the option of adding the page number. Now remember, running head is only on the first page of the document. Now let's try the same thing in Google Docs. You open Google Docs. I hope everybody knows how to open Google Docs. If not, I will. You can ask me. You can give us a call, or you can Google it yourself. You open Google Docs. You click on the top of the document, which is over here, and then you at the bottom of that area you see different first page header / footer. Check that. Then you write running head followed by colon, followed by the title of your document, the shortened version of it, followed by the page number. And again over here there should be an option, perhaps an insert, to add the page number. Now let's talk about the second page and all the subsequent pages which come after that. Over here again you double click on the top of the document. Don't need to write running head. Just write the shortened title of your document and add the page number. That's about it. Now you don't have to do this after that in page number 3, 4, or any pages which come after this. Now let's talk about Google Docs now. In Google Docs you're on your second page, so again double click. No need to write running head, just the shortened title of your paper followed by the page number, insert the page number, and that's about it. Now, here comes the most important part. Whenever people talk about APA format, they actually want to talk about this area. How to actually write someone's name in APA format. Here, let's take a simpler thing. Let's take my name. So my name is Tanmay Arun Kumar Banerjee. So how do I convert that into an APA formatted name? The format is very simple. Last name, so I write Banerjee, followed by a comma, so I put the comma, followed by the first letter of my first name, which is T, so I write a T, followed by a full stop or a period, so I make a full stop, followed by the first letter of my middle name, which is A, so I write an A, followed by a full stop, so I put a full stop. So my APA style name is Banerjee, T dot A dot. Now, here are a few more examples that you can give it a try. So what I want you to do is to convert all of these names, and perhaps you can you can find the answers and send it to us on the WhatsApp group. So most of them are easy. The one which is difficult is Abdul Kalam's name. The one which is really easy is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Now, let's talk about the second page. Second page, or sometimes the fourth or fifth page, usually includes an abstract with the next title called keywords. Now, what is an abstract? Now, whenever people write documents, they write a brief gist of that entire document in the second or the third or fourth page. Now, this should, whenever people are reading documents, they just read the abstract, especially when you submit documents to a researcher, they usually tend to read the abstract. The abstract includes what you're doing, how you're planning to do it, and what your conclusions are. Now, abstracts isn't necessary for every document. However, it's usually a good thing to add. It makes the job of your lecturer or the job of the researcher, if you're publishing, then the people from publishing company might probably give you the rules, and that might include including abstract. Now next comes your keywords. Now, keywords has been used by researchers and psychologists for a long period of time. It helps them to categorize information. So your keyword can be CMHS, SCR, perhaps child psychology, remedial education, anything that actually is a very specific keyword of your document or the area of your study. Now let's come to this one. Now, here we are talking about how to actually write our document. So one of the things that we need to understand is that with most modern word processors like Word or Google Docs, they offer us a very simple solution, which is the headings. They have written what is a heading and what is a normal text. So while you're writing your document, don't worry so much about the font. The font can be changed later on, but make sure that what is a heading has been clicked as a heading. So let's say I write my heading, I write it in normal font, any font, I write in normal font. Then I select the entire thing and then I click on heading 1. And after that, I write perhaps the body of the document and I click on normal. Perhaps after that, I would write the heading, one more heading after that, which is also a heading 1. Maybe after that, I'll write a subheading, which might be my heading 2. So after that, I might write a subheading, which might be heading 3. So these are levels of heading. So all of your first level headings are heading 1. All of your second level headings are heading 2. All of your third level headings are heading 3. So make sure you click on them. Don't worry so much about the font right now. The font can be changed later on. So once you're done writing the entire document, and if you have added heading properly everywhere, then later on you can change the heading and select text and change the, then later on you can change the font. Select the text and change the font. Now let's see how we can do that in So in Google Doc, it's much more simpler. So you type the document, you select the text, and then you write either heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3. So, and after that, once you're done writing the entire paper, then you change your font. Now the next one is that after you are done writing the document, you have changed the heading, you have changed the font, then you go to view, which should be there on the top area where the tabs are, and you click on an outline. And this will show you all of the headings and subheadings of your document, and it should be proper that all of the headings which should be there are there, all of the subheadings which should be there are there, and any information which shouldn't be there isn't there. Do the same thing in Google Docs. You have written the entire document, put the headings and subheadings and normal text properly, and then you change the font, and then you go to Tools, you go to Document Outline. And over here, you can see the document outline properly. Now, why are we doing this? So remember when I spoke about APA style in the first slide, I was telling you that people from different countries who probably don't even speak the same language can understand your document. And that is the reason they can understand your document, because the headings are properly placed. That is why we are looking at placing the headings properly. Also, the second reason is that later on, as you would see, if you start using APA format a lot more, and perhaps Microsoft Word or Google Documents a lot more, that if you actually do this right from the beginning, it saves you a lot of time while making your index sheet. It automatically comes by. So let's say that we have done all of this, and then we make an index sheet. So Word will automatically put all of the headings in the index sheet. And same with Google Doc, it will put automatically all of the headings in the index sheet. Now we come to the next part. Now, referencing. Now, this is another area where we talk a lot about APA format. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is what is referencing. So if I'm creating a document, I might actually go through hundreds or perhaps 200s of 200 of different sources, and I would have read through it and taken information from it and would have added it to my document. Now let's say I submit that document to my lecturer. My lecturer needs to know that which paragraph is from which source. I could have gotten the paragraph 1 from YouTube, paragraph 2 from a newspaper article, paragraph 3 from a research paper that I found online. So I need to add over there the reference about where I got it from. Now over here, it's important to discuss that how references work. Whenever writing your document, there are two kinds of references that we add to a document. The first one is called an in-text reference or in-text citation, and the second one is called the reference section. So what you do is you write your document entirely, and at the end, the last thing that you add to your document is another section called references. Under references, you would write the references of everywhere that you got your information from. It can be hundreds of different places, so you write all of them over there. However, after that, once you're done with that, the next thing that you do is you go inside your document, and next to each paragraph, you write where did you get that information from. So not only does your lecturer or your reader have a complete list of references, they also know which paragraph comes from which reference. So over here in this video, we won't be discussing in-text citation. That is something that you need to Google out by yourself. But we will be discussing the last section, the references. So let's take this for an example. I have been reading about Stroop effect. If you're in your TY or in your masters, you know what Stroop effect is. Now I am writing a document on Stroop effect, and I found this document, a research paper. So let me just take the name down. I have taken the name, which is over here, and I've added it over here. I have taken the authors, I've added over here. I've taken the name of the journal, which and I've added it over here. Oh, here is the name of the journal, and I've added it over here. And now I add the date. Now remember, this is an American study, so they write date in a different way. They go with month name, the day, and then the year. So the month is actually November, so it's 22nd of November 1989. So I've got all of the information that I need from this first page of the research paper. Now let's convert it to an APA level reference that you add in the reference section, the last section of your document. So name of the document, it comes exactly as it is. The author, however, that changes. There is a way that we write author name in APA. The name of the journal is the same. And the date, usually we don't need the 22nd November, we just need the 1989. So the more important part is this: how did this author name get converted to this author name? So the general convention of writing an author name is your last name, comma, your first letter of your first name, which is J, and your first letter of your middle name, which is D. And that's how all of these are converted. Now let's talk about APA references, the last section of your document. How do you add information over there? So the first thing that you do is you add in the authors. All right, so my author one over here, my author one is there, which I've added over here, which is Cohen, comma, J dot D dot. And I put a comma. Don't worry if there is a comma after a dot. Then I put a comma. Then I add my second author over here. There's my second author, which is Dunbar, and then I add my third author, which is Meckland, and I add my third author. After that, there is no comma, right? Remember, there is no comma after the third author. After the third author, there is the year that we put in round brackets. Then I put a comma. Then I put the name of my source. The name of my source is the name of the document. Then I put a comma, and then I write the name of the journal. And then if I need to add any other details like retrieve from which URL or perhaps the name of the publication house. Now, while it is possible to create references by yourself manually, but if you have too many references, you can use multiple applications as well. One of those applications is Google Scholar. So how do you go to Google Scholar? You type Google Scholar on your Google search, and the first option which turns up is scholar.google.co.in or Google Scholar. Click on it and you reach Google Scholar, which looks exactly the same as your normal Google, except Google Scholar is used to search research papers or books. So let's say I want to research on Milgram's obedience to authority study. So I write Milgram's obedience to authority and I get a lot of results. Now I can read the document over here if I click on PDF. If I click on PDF on either of these PDFs, I can read the document over there. Second thing that I can do is that I can take the references. Now, how do I take the references? Over here, you will see commas or punctuations. You click on them where exactly the yellow bar is. You click on them and you would get a screen look something like this. Now, we just need the APA one. So over here, the reference is already made for you. You just copy it and you paste it in your document. Now, there's another machine called citation machine. This has been used for a very long period of time, and it is a very versatile machine or very versatile website. We'll talk about how to use it for APA. So first you type citation machine on Google and you will get the first option, which is citationmachine.net. There, click on APA. Now, there are multiple options over here. Are you searching for a book, a magazine, a newspaper, website, journal, a film, or something else? They have their autofill mode, which is that you just put in the title of the document and they'll put in the rest of the things. You also have the manual entry mode, wherein they will give you boxes and you put information in there. I like both of them. So let's say we search Milgram, all right, or Miller, and they both are researchers. So let's say I search Miller and I find a document. Click on it and automatically the reference is made. Right over here, Miller, A.G. and 1986, obedience, the obedience experiments, a case study of controversy in social science, the place information as well. And now I can copy and paste it. I can copy and paste it somewhere, and then I can just paste it in my document. Now, there's a lot of things that you can use the citation machine for. Just remember that citation machine has too many ads on it. Now, let's the last part, all right, is that while we are learning about all of this, there are easier ways to do this. You can just download a template for Microsoft Word. How do you a template which will tell you where to write what? So you go on Google, type download Microsoft Word APA 6 edition format. The first option, click on it. You will get the download, click on download, and it will get downloaded. And over here at the bottom, you can see that it's downloaded. And when you open it, here you have a document which is telling you what to type where. You can do the same and here's the double pane version of the document. Now you can do the same thing with Google Docs, just to select. You go to Google Docs, you sign in, click on go to Google Docs, click on sign in. Now when you sign in, the first thing that you see is this page. Now you go up and click on template gallery. And once you go to template gallery, go down, go down, go down, and you'll see education. In education, you'll see report, and under that subheading APA. Click on that, and now you have a APA styled document which tells you what to add where. And about it. Now, in terms of discussion, we have added a lot of, I have explained a lot of things. What I haven't explained is how to do in-text citation, or how to write a proper full document. That is something you will have to find on your own, and we will have an assignment on it soon. Of course, as I said, we'll have a few assignments on it soon. I haven't decided what the assignment is because I need to know what his skill level is. All right, then, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next class.